Hello, Stedman here from PodcastBrum with a gear review of the AKG Y50BT wireless headphones. These are available on Amazon for £114, I believe, down from £150. You can get them on Prime, next day delivery. And they look like that. They actually look like that. So I've had AKGs before. I had a sort of nice set of wired headphones. They're quite soft. These are really metallic. These two massive great AKG heads, these cans here, they're quite noticeable. But given that they're quite hard, they're a really comfortable pair of headphones to wear, I have to say. I've gone running in these, and they actually did a pretty good job. They're really flexible. When you've got them on your head, you've got a lot of sort of swivel around various areas. I've got a big head, and these extend out. What I actually found was with these, I could wear them almost completely unextended. So they're actually pretty good if you are of the larger head persuasion. Yeah, the build quality, it's really substantial. You can really tell that this is a well-made piece of kit. The AKGs I had before I absolutely loved, but these started to sort of wear away, and I'm aware apparently you can get replacements. But I never looked into that for my old pair, and then constantly the reason I moved, in fact I think I actually moved from those AKGs to a set of Bluetooth headphones. This is my second set of Bluetooth headphones, but I moved from AKG because the cable just had so much wear and tear that it just became untenable, and it was at one point I decided, okay, last year I think I can't take this anymore. I've got to move to Bluetooth. So like I said, these are my second pair, and to compare against what I had first, I have here the Jabra Move. These are a decent set of headphones. They are, I hesitate to say more budget because it's still like 65 quid, but they are light, and they haven't let me down. The reason I got new ones is because I'm a self-important, middle-class, too much money to do anything sensible with guy who has too much technology. So I have an Apple Watch and a phone, and I was getting interference on these, which I don't get on these, and that is partly due to the price differential. These are, twice the price. They have got great build quality. They don't get the same kind of interference. So what I was constantly getting with these is other devices trying to interrupt the signal. So I'd be listening to something and it would be on my phone and it would be constantly cutting out. And I realised it was the watch that was doing it. And you can't turn Bluetooth off on an Apple Watch because you'd be daft to do so. And I found that there were pairing difficulties and all sorts of stuff. Some of those pairing difficulties were down to a problem on the watch, and some of them is just to do with the Bluetooth on these isn't as great. But for a slightly more budget end, you can't go wrong with these. Actually, they are decent. If you just want standard Bluetooth headphones, then check out the Jabra Move, and they're about 65 quid on Amazon, and they're pretty decent. But I'm here to review these as a podcast listener. I've found like I can spend quite a lot of time, whether it's walking around the house or walking to meetings and all that kind of stuff. They don't get overly, despite the fact that they do look a bit bigger, they don't get overly sweaty. They don't weigh my head down. They fit more securely and snugly than the Jabra Move. They tend to stay on the head a bit. So when you sort of tip the head back, these tend to stay a little bit better, and I think it's because it's got this sort of greater flexibility, like it's almost giving like a head massage. And one of the things I really like, actually, with my terrible eyesight is being able to clearly see which one's left and right, because it's in big white lettering on the inner earpiece. So looking at the controls then, here you've got a mic. Now, I'd read reviews saying this has a mic. If it has one, it's really, really, really bad. I never found one. I never found indication of one. You can answer phone calls on this, and you can hear phone calls on this, but the other person could never hear me. And I didn't pick it up thinking that it would have a mic. When I had my AKGs before with a wired thing, I always bought a wired mic, so that I had the Bluetooth, so I had the toggle buttons for play, pause, and stuff, but I also had the little mic in there so that I could answer calls on the bus usually. This doesn't seem to have that, whereas these, you can actually see the mic on them. Next to that is the Bluetooth, what they call, or what someone on a YouTube video called the sync button, but that's basically power and pairing. So if you just hit it once, makes a little bleeping noise, and then it's powered on and it's ready to play. And once it's found a device that it's already connected to, that will flash periodically just to let you know, hey, I'm still around, I'm still paired, I'm still using up battery. Press it again and it should go away. And then what you can do is press and hold, and that will put it into pairing mode. The Jabra Move doesn't have that. It goes into pairing mode once it can't find a device that you're trying to connect to. So if you on your phone or whatever, you say disconnect from this device and forget this device, the Jabra set will complain for about 10 seconds that there's no device. Then it will enter pairing mode, whereas with this, you can enter pairing mode just by pressing and holding that button. You can pair multiple devices to it. It won't play multiple things, but you still, like with the Jabra Move, actually you still have to do a bit of jiggery pokery. So the way I got this to pair, because I go running with just my watch, I don't go running with the phone because it's massive, is I set it up on the watch first, and then I turn Bluetooth off on the watch and set it up on the phone. So when you then turn it on, it will connect to the nearest device, or I think the device with the most powerful signal. And usually the watch doesn't try to emit a powerful, and I'm probably getting the technicals wrong here, but the watch doesn't seem to try to interfere. Whereas the phone, as soon as it sees a Bluetooth device within range that you've already paired with, it will automatically start playing through that. So I tend to find that for the most part, these will automatically start playing once I turn them on. Standard buttons here, so you've got rewind, pause, and fast forward. Well, supposedly, I think, I'm not sure if actually that is actually wrong. It's supposed to be. That's someone else told me that was the case, and they're not. If you want to fast forward, so if you're listening to that Squarespace ad that you've already heard 1,000 times, then what you want to do is just double tap, and that will do a next. This isn't great, I'll be honest. It was the same with the old AKGs actually. The double tap often gives you a false positive. It often thinks you're just pausing. It doesn't I think you've really got to get the timing right in order to get that double tap of the button. And then you've got your up and your down for volume. I don't know whether these will do other things. I don't think they do. I'll be honest. But that's the one thing to be wary of, is if you are skipping. If you're listening to an Earwolf podcast and they're launching into one of their 10-minute ads, then you might want to skip past those, and you might be better digging your phone out, I'll be honest, because that's the weak point there, if that's something that bothers you. Battery life is supposed to be about 20 hours. We will see. I've only had these a few days. I think these arrived on the Wednesday night. I think it was Wednesday night via Amazon, so I've only had them a few days. I've only gone running with them once, and they did a much better job than the Jabra Move. The Jabra was constantly, I think in the cold weather with the morning dew, because of Bluetooth not doing well in anything to do with wet conditions, it really didn't have, it really struggled between that and the watch. Whereas this was faultless. Audio quality wise, I'd say there is a bit of a difference between that and the Jabra, and they are really good. They do sound good. The cans really cup your ears, so you really get a nice frequency response, and those bass notes actually really come through. Partly because your ears are nicely covered. They're not noise cancelling or anything like that. They won't cut out a huge amount of noise, but they're pretty good, and they didn't seem all that leaky actually. And then they fold up nicely. He says once he's got the mechanism right, they do fold up nicely. There you go. So they've got a nice small footprint. You can stick those in a bag. I think I could see, because of this, I could see them getting quite scratched, and I'm not a big fan. I'll be honest. I don't love the massive AKG symbols. I think that looks tacky, but they sound great. They feel really good. The Bluetooth quality is excellent. So I'd give this, as an overall pair of headphones, a sort of, if we're taking wired and wireless together, probably 7 out of 10. But as a wired headphones, I don't like using headphone as plural because that's stupid. But as a wired set of headphones, a wireless set of headphones, I'd say 8, pushing 8.5. I was really impressed with the Jabra, and I still like them, but these are just that bit more reliable. They also come with a bag, so if that's something that you care about, you can put your headphones in a lovely neoprene bag. And it has a charging cable and all that stuff as well. And I also believe it comes with a jack, as does the Jabra as well. It comes with a a whatever millimeter standard audio jack, so you can plug it in and do non-Bluetooth things if you are one of those people who doesn't have an iPhone 7. So there you go, the AKG Y50BT. If you like the look of these but you don't want them in Bluetooth, then you can just knock the BT off, and you can get the AKG Y50, just the Y50, and they're exactly the same. I may be wrong, but I suspect the controls probably aren't on the headphones if you get them, because you don't tend to have that. So if you're someone who listens to podcasts and things while cooking, and maybe you put your headphones on, as I do, I can put these almost anywhere in my 2-bedroom flat and they will be picked up. The Jabra, not so much. I can get about halfway across my fairly long flat, and then they'll start to cut out. These actually pretty much cover the whole flat with doors closed and stuff, so I can actually have the phone in here, and I can be in the kitchen, just however many feet away. It's some number of feet, and I can be cooking and doing all the things, and have no problem, no dropout or anything like that. So if that's something that you like to do, then these are good for that, because the one of the things that they actually excel at with this, I would say, is Bluetooth. The Bluetooth signal on this is really good, and I think that's partly where the premium comes from. You're slightly paying for the name as well, because I think AKG do make quality headphones. But if you're waiting for if you're an iPhone person and you're waiting for the new W1 chip headphones, the AirPods are delayed, and Beats are overpriced and underpowered. So stick with these. Really, really good. That'll do it for me. This is a review from Stedman from PodcastBrum. Thank you very much for watching. I don't have a catchphrase. I feel like as a YouTuber I should have a catchphrase. The end.